Getting ready to step into your career era? Set yourself apart with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Hone your skills with apps like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and more, powered with the latest in creative AI. Students save over 55% so you can build a portfolio you're proud of. Launch your future with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Visit adobe.com/students to learn more.
They say to only bring what you can carry. So with the all-new 2025 Ford Expedition Tremor, bring a lot. Like 3 dirt bikes, a few tents, an entire crew ready to make memories. A panoramic 24-inch display, and the confidence to push your limits. The all-new 2025 Ford Expedition Tremor.
Always consult the owner's manual before off-road driving. Know your terrain and trail difficulty and use appropriate safety gear. Max payload varies based on accessories and vehicle configuration. See label on door jamb for carrying capacity of a specific vehicle. Always properly secure cargo.
You're tuned into Auto Intelligence, live from Auto Trader, where data, tools, and your preferences sync to make your car shopping smooth.
They're searching inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They find what you need.
They're gonna find it.
You can make a budget for your wallet to help you succeed. Pricing's precise and true.
So true.
It's smarter car shopping.
Ooh.
Just for you.
Oh, it's just for you. Ooh. Find your next ride at autotrader.com. Powered by Auto Intelligence.
Mega is an improvised satire from the staff of a fictional megachurch.
We are here, the Lord, we are here, and we're ready to podcast.
Hiya, I'm Hallie Labont, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel, and today is no exception. We're joined by our Supercast supporters in the chat who have given us suggestions for our improvised live episode today that we are recording on YouTube. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray Haas.
Christ is lit, and he is the coolest. Hallie, how are you?
There's so many things that go with lit.
What?
He gives my heart a hit.
Okay.
You could say something that rhymes with a little bit. You know what I mean?
Wait, you're saying that there's some
sit.
You're saying there's a lot of things that go with lit, and then you said you could rhyme something with a little bit. So you're just not really giving me an option there. You're just saying go rhyme something with it. I'm asking you for actual hard options.
For real life options?
Well, I don't really need options, Hallie, because I like the idea that Christ is lit and he's the
too
coolest.
Legit to quit.
Well, nobody says that anymore, Hallie.
What?
I'm too young for that. Anyway, how are you?
You know I am blessed because I woke up today as a Christ follower, just like I did yesterday and like I might do tomorrow. But you know what? There is no guarantee the sun is going to rise tomorrow because I'm keeping my eyes to the skies. Jesus might return today.
I love that, Hallie. And actually, I'm not as positive today as I usually am. Unfortunately, it's just been a really challenging week. And I'm laying at the foot of the cross and I'm going, hey, I'm saying I'm laying it at the foot of the cross. I'm not laying at the foot of the cross because...
You're not laying prostrate at the cross?
No, because you'd be lying prostrate at the foot of the cross, Hallie.
That's what I said. You are prostrate at the cross.
No, well, anyway, I am just having a big... How would I put this? A bit of a tiff.
Oh, no.
With not only my lady friend, Tiffa, but also...
A tiff with Tiffer? Well, it's sort of built in.
I know. And, it's just been a tough week is all. And I'm just putting it in front of Jesus and I'm saying, Jesus, take the wheel. And I'm really imagining that there's a wheel at the foot of the cross that Jesus takes. And he's kind of driving the cross around like a cross on wheels to wherever I need it and wherever it needs to go.
Oh, I'm so sorry that you're struggling this week, my friend.
Well, it's fine. It's more that I'm not struggling, but my neighbor, and I know, he's just, and I hate to use this word, Hallie, and I apologize if there are young listeners in the room, but he's just a friggin' goof. He's a goof. And he's dumb. He's a dummy and he's a goof.
Oh no.
And this week I looked out, the window of, I'm not sure if I mentioned him before, but my friend Mason Bannerman's house, and there were what I thought were Buddhist prayer flags hanging everywhere.
What?
And I'm going, okay, we're not going to be a Buddhist neighborhood. Okay.
No, this is
we're not going to be a Buddhist.
nation.
This is not a Buddhist nation.
No, it is not. It is a Christian nation.
And so I go out there and I'm about to cut them down because they're not only just in his yard, they're going over the very tall fence that we constructed in between our yards. They're attached to the top of that. Then they're attached to the light pole out front. So it's just making this complete Buddhist Bermuda Triangle, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. And I think those Buddhist prayer flags are sick. And I feel like people put those up, and Donovan Geo is putting them up as some kind of an affront to you. It's aggressive. He is trying to bait you into a fight.
Well, anytime somebody puts up a religious iconography,
it's disgusting.
That is an example of them just trying to shove it down your throat.
Yes, they're trying to indoctrinate you and colonize you and all of those terrible things. And it is sick when people show their religious iconography, in public places.
So I took things into my own hands and I put on my Jesus One shirt. It's a shirt that just says Jesus, W-O-N on it in the biggest letters. It's so sick. And I went out there with a pair of garden shears and I said, I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this, by destroying them. And
burn it to the ground. Burn those flags.
So I, went out in the morning, so early, some would call it night. And I went to each of the lines. Hallie, I hate to say this, but they weren't Buddhist prayer flags.
What? What was
they?
They
were Y fronts.
What are you talking about?
They were Y front.
Like on a clothesline?
Yes. Well,
just
or maybe
a
on
bunch of different colored Y front underpants.
Yeah.
Men's tighty whities hanging from a long clothesline.
And can we call them tighty whities if they're not white? Because most of them weren't.
How in the heck is he finding Y fronts of different colors? They don't even make those.
I don't know.
Oh
it was sick. All the colors of the rainbow. And so then I'm out there and I feel like, this could look bad that I'm out here cutting down
a man's underpants.
Exactly. Because I think it's iconography. It's more iconography. And so I am shears in hand like this on the ladder in the dark. And I'm about to chop and I realize, it's a bunch of underwear that I'm about to cut down, not Buddhist prayer flags.
Did you accidentally touch any of the underpants?
Well, I just had that moment, and I bet people here have felt this. And, chat, let me know if you've ever felt this. But do you know when you set out on a mission and somewhere along the lines, your faith is tested?
Yep, I do know that. Yep.
And you're going, God, am I doing the right thing? You called me to do this. I answered the call.
Yep.
But now I'm halfway up the mountain, as it were. And in this case, I was on top of a step ladder. And my faith was shaky. I got to say it, Hallie. My faith was shaky. Should I chop it down?
I'm picturing you up there like friggin' Abraham on top of Isaac, raising his knife to plunge it deep into his son's throat or chest or gut or wherever he was.
Oh, really? Yeah, I always thought of
it.
I
don't know. But I'm picturing you up there like Abraham having to make this horrible sacrifice to, honestly just make God feel better.
Yeah, if there's anything that would illuminate that more, I think it is, Abraham sacrificing his son is a good example of chopping down someone's Buddhist prayer flags.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's a 1-to-1.
So my faith is shaken, guys. And then I hear this still small voice. And I'm like, I couldn't quite hear what it was at the time, but I just knew like that's God. God's telling me to do it. I went wham, whack, chop them down. I mean, in that moment, I kind of felt like Abraham Lincoln in the cherry tree or whoever did that.
George.
And then I gathered them in my arms, came down the ladder, put them in a big pile right on the curb, where the collection for leaves is on Wednesdays. And I just thought, take these to the dump because they're trash.
Yes.
And then, Hallie, what I realized was the still small voice was actually Donovan Geo screaming from his rooftop and it was something like, you want to start a war, big boy?
Oh, no.
And I was like, I hate this guy. I mean, I don't hate him, but I just hate the way I hate who he is and how he is.
You hate his catchphrases. It's okay to love the talk or hate the phrase.
He was up on his roof, sort of climbing around like some sort of a Spider-Man or something. I don't even know what he was up there doing at this night. But now it's just turned into this whole thing because he came over, and I'm not sure if I mentioned before, but he complained to Clay Mason Bannerman, and Clay is like, you can't do that. And I'm going, Clay, this is my faith. This is the most important thing to me. And I am not going to have anyone throw something like a bunch of Buddhist prayer flags in my face that ended up being underwear, but it's the thought that counts.
Yep. And it sounds like, you know what? You might be in a holy war now, but you got God on your side.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes the only way to, let people know that you will not be at war and that you are totally against war and that war is not on the table is to drop a bomb on them.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's what's happening in Iran right now.
Exactly. You know what? To them, it's, a bomb literally being dropped on them, I guess. But to us, like the intent, matters.
Well,
and what we're saying is no war.
We're saying no war.
No war. There will be no war.
And that's what I'm saying.
Dropping this bomb on you so that you understand how non-warlike we are.
Well,
we're saying no war.
We are ending war. We're dropping a bomb to end war because guess what we're dropping a bomb on? A bomb-making factory.
Right. That, we are not currently at war with. So we're not
we're not
ending
at war.
a war.
We're ending
a
war.
Starting a war by dropping.
No,
bombs.
we're ending war. And that's what I said. I said, I'm ending a war.
Yep.
Because he said, you want war? And I said, we're ending a war.
Yeah.
So that is kind of how my midweek started. And it's just been a bit stressful because I would say things are escalating.
Well, I just crave the day that, the Lord shows you the new condo that he has picked out for you. I know it's out there. There is going to be, what are you looking for? A 1-bedroom, 5-bath?
I'm looking for a 1-bedroom, 1 or 2-bedroom, 5-bathroom. And I did have a contract on one, but it fell through. And so I'm just, unfortunately, I'm picky. I have certain things that I like and that I need if I'm going to spend over $200,000. Here in Indianapolis, you can buy quite the place.
Buy a mansion for $200,000
for that. I'm going to be getting a very nice place, but it's got to have 5 bathrooms. It's an aesthetic thing, and it's a feng shui thing. And I don't even believe in feng shui. I just I like some of the magazines.
Oh, really?
Well, how are you, Hallie?
Oh, well, honestly, I'm thinking about you and putting you on the top of my prayer list. And I believe that God is picking out a condo for you in the same way he's picking out a godly wife for you.
Oh, yeah.
He's designing these things perfectly for you. He's going to make this gal fulfill all your dreams.
I even forgot about that part. Tifa got into it because she's going, you shouldn't do that. And I'm going, oh, okay. You're going to tell a soldier on his way to war, maybe you don't do that. You don't have a choice in these matters, Tiff. So Tiffer and I got in a bit of a tiff, but it's okay. I'm super busy right now. I just really don't have time for her feedback and never have.
Well, you know what? If Tiffer can't, support her godly man, maybe she's not the one.
Well, she can definitely support me because she can press. Oh, she can overhead press at this point, probably 180.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
She can press over her body weight?
Oh, definitely, Hallie.
Wow.
So can Mickey. They press the same.
What about Barbie Lou?
Barbie Lou doesn't. She just doesn't really care too much about working out, unfortunately.
Well, I just feel like the Bible promises us that God won't give us more than we can handle. So I'll tell you what. you being, without a home base right now, you've been having to crash at your buddy's house for so long now. I mean,
it hasn't been that long, a few months, but yeah, I mean, the next time I go over there, and I'm going to keep my Jesus One shirt on. I'm going to put like a Black Rifle Coffee hat on as something to make me really look intimidating and see if he likes that, because you just can't be, I mean, even if they're not, but it's prayer flags, you can't be hanging undergarments for an entire neighborhood to see. A lot of kids in this neighborhood, Hallie. Do you want kids to see that? Do you want kids to see that people wear underwear? It's just sick.
Very good point. And I just want you to know that you do have my unyielding support. I think, Donovan Geo threatening you with war, because he thinks you've, made the first move or whatever, which we know is not.
He made the first move, Hallie. But I cut them down to end the war.
That's right. You're right. Putting up those prayer flags, which, just turned to be underpants, drying on a line. But that was the first move. Same with Iran. I mean, Iran definitely made the first move by being there. They were just, we're here being a country. And we were like, well, here's what we have to say about that. And, sometimes you just have to let people know your standards in the same way you're letting your realtor know your standards of what you want in a condo. So
we have to have standards.
Yeah.
So, you live in a neighborhood, and guess what? There's a neighborhood association. I'm also not afraid to take him in front of the council, because that's also, you just can't live in this neighborhood and do whatever you want.
I think he's actually lucky that you are living next to him and you are listening to this still small voice in your head, which we know is the Holy Spirit. And we know that when the Holy Spirit is confirming how you feel and telling you to take action, you know that is an act of God, that you are acting out if you're following your still small voice. And you know what? Donovan Geo is lucky that he got off with just a pile of clean underpants in his garbage out front, because you could have gotten a bunch of Christians from Twin Hills to march around his house 7 times, blow some trumpets, and, just watch all his walls come tumbling down. And then all of us come in and raid everything he has and take over and live there ourselves rent free. I mean,
I'm not afraid to go plan B, Hallie, but right now I'm just trying to not go full biblical on him, because he knows who wins that. God does. And his whole argument to this is, well, now I only have one pair of Y fronts. And so he's like, and he goes like this, so when I wash them, and I'm like, what does that even mean?
That's not even a catchphrase.
So when they're in the wash, that's kind of how he says it.
So what, when they're in the wash? There needs to be another phrase.
I know. And I'm going, what? What? So when they're in the wash, what?
So when they're in the wash.
So when they're in the wash,
you can stick it up your Bosch.
What?
I don't know.
You mean Bosch, the TV show on Amazon?
Yeah.
I love Bosch. It's so good.
So good.
Bosch is good.
If
I love Bosch.
people aren't watching Bosch,
if people aren't watching
what
Bosch,
you are doing.
It's just a detective. He's going around. Bosch, so good.
It's
and
so good.
Another Bosch. There's a Bosch, and then Bosch returns. Another Bosch bites the dust. There's so many Bosches,
and you can't lose.
No.
I mean, all of them are going to.
You can't lose with Bosch.
It's
a good
Bosch you're watching. Yeah, it's definitely.
Well, Hallie, what's going on at your house this week? Is there anything positive? Because goodness knows, I really would love some good news after my week.
I'll tell you what, I've had a great week with my white foods. I like when I learn an immutable law of the universe, like that Jesus won, for instance. That's I like to have conclusions and to have things wrapped up.
You like things explained. You like things to be concrete.
I like answers. I like all this. And so I know when I know I like something, I just declare it as law. And, in my house, my kids and my husband, Lance Labatt, know that I like white foods. And if it's white, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
You bring home a white cake with white frosting, mom's going to be happy. You know what I mean? Besides obviously white wine, which nobody likes that kind of
nobody
poison
likes
around.
that.
But everything else white I like. So this week I've started, there is this awesome new trend where, how you can get a slice of cheddar that you throw on your burger? Well, now you can get a slice of ketchup that you throw on your burger. You can get a slice of mayonnaise that you throw on your burger.
A slice of mayonnaise? A slice of ketchup?
So I was at home making sliced mayo.
How do you make sliced mayo?
Well, you have to just put
Does it come in a kit?
You can buy sliced mayo now.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
In the
that sounds
same way you can buy
interesting.
sliced cheese. Because sure, you can go buy a block of cheddar, but then who wants to be having to, use the manpower? And obviously I say manpower, because obviously even when a woman is expressing any amount of strength, it's like a male quality in
Yes,
her,
exactly.
I think, probably. And so who wants to spend their time? Jesus is coming back. Do you think I got time to pull out a good knife and slice up some cheese? No.
That's a good point.
So,
And if you're using mayo, which I don't because it's pretty high in fat, but, then you get a knife all dirty. It's kind of hard to get out of there anyway. Most of it sits in the bottom.
Anyway, ever since I learned about mayo slices, which now if you can skip some of these processes we need, like going to the refrigerator, getting the mayo, getting the knife out of the knife drawer, bringing it over to the counter, dirtying up the knife while you're making the sandwich, putting the knife in the sink, taking the mayo back to the fridge. What you could do is open up the fridge, grab a slice of mayo, toss it onto whatever you want to eat it on, and bam, we haven't made any dishes. We haven't, we're reducing, we're getting, I'm closer to heaven with less chores is how it feels, to be honest.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Well, that sounds interesting. I just don't know. I just think of mayo as kind of being a viscous, something in between, liquid and solid, but a slice of it, I'm having trouble getting my head around.
Yeah. Mayo is the consistency of like a good face cream, I would say.
Oh.
So all you have to do, what I do is I just take mayonnaise out and I spread them along the countertop in little squares. I'll just spread a little mayonnaise and then I'll make hard lines on all four sides. Then I'll wipe away anything that didn't make it into the perfect square. And then I let them dry. I spend a day letting the mayonnaise dry on the countertops in the same way you're letting cookies cool on the countertop. I've got my mayo slices drying on there, and any hoodles. One of my daughters instantly, my kids think it's disgusting. They think the mayo slices are disgusting.
Well, they're not making dinner, are they?
No. And kids are going to hate whatever you do as a parent just because it's their job. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They like mayo on a BLT as much as the rest of us,
That's right.
But they just have to criticize everything I do. Any hoodles ended up in
Which daughter?
My daughter who stopped eating animal products because she says animals are sentient.
Okay.
First of all, sentient? That's pretty friggin' sophisticated, okay?
Yep.
Have you ever tried to talk to a cow or a pig?
Or your Frenchies or your Corgis?
There's not a lot of sentience there, okay?
Now, what is sentience? Sometimes I just wonder, because
I know.
it just clearly animals don't have it. And I mean, I don't like animals much, but you might know, Hallie, because you definitely have, a lot of Frenchies and Corgis. Would you say Pancake is sentient?
No. Not in the least. I mean, Pancake is a sweetheart. Pancake is a softie.
And is this Pancake 2 or 3?
To me, it is the same dog living eternally.
Okay.
Because you know what? If Jesus wanted me to be able to process things such as death and grief, he wouldn't have risen from the dead and said, don't worry about it. We're not dealing with that stuff. We've got a heaven to look forward to. So I think there are several pancakes in heaven waiting for me, bud. But in the meantime, there has always been one pancake living in my house.
Okay. Sorry to bring up something so sore subject. But anyway, is he sentient? Pancake?
I don't believe so. He's a little sensitive sweetie and he likes mayo. Oh, he'll eat an entire jar of mayo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he doesn't judge like my kids. But anyway, my daughter thinks that animals are sentient somehow. And I'm like, look, heavy is the head that wears the crown. We're the only conscious creatures on earth.
Yeah.
All right. That's why the Bible said we have dominion over everything. So we're allowed to cut everything down and eat it all, or even, throw it in the trash can if you want. Any hoodles, but sparked a whole controversy in my house this week because I'm fighting to keep my mayo slices safe while they're drying on the countertop. And my kids are in there gagging and totally disgusted by it. And they're also now trying to come up with white foods that I don't like, because they're trying to show me like, hey, mom, even if you think something is an immutable law of the universe, like Jesus winning, having already won, all of the things in the Bible that are non-negotiable and that are just fact and literal. They're like, well, maybe everything isn't like that, mom, because you don't like everything that's white. And I'm like, no, yes, I do. I like everything that's white, even cauliflower. Okay. I like
like cauliflower?
I love cauliflower when it has a lot of melted cheddar over it. So much so that like really all you can. But I'm eating.
The only vegetable I've ever seen you really eat has ranch on it. So I guess it's technically white.
Exactly. So there's no arguing with it. I mean, popcorn, Parmesan, all down the list. But then this week, my daughter Fitter and her best friend Brandy are in the house making tofu. Do you know what this is?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And they're trying to get me to eat this tofu. And they're eating tofu on things. They're putting it in their mouth and swallowing it. And I'm ready to start gagging myself. I'm like, you think slices of mayo drying on the counter is gross? What are you putting in your body? And they're like, this is soy and it's natural and all this stuff. And I'm like, what, like soy milk? Guess what? That's not milk.
Here's how you know tofu's bad. One time I saw a guy begging for food outside of a salad place. And I said, okay, can I get you something? He said, yeah, give me the number 2, whatever. So I went in, ordered it. They must have made some mistake and put tofu on it instead of whatever he wanted. I came back out, gave it to him. He looked at it, he said, I don't eat tofu, threw it away. And it was like that salad cost like $11.
Wow.
And I go, well, there you have it. And plus soy makes you effeminate. It makes you weak. And it makes your brain sort of turn into a lady brain, as far as I can tell from the internet.
Well,
that's how bad soy is.
Yeah, it's not even food.
No.
I mean, yes.
I don't even know what it's made of.
Okay, so I found the loophole. They're like, oh, so you don't like all foods, Mom. Maybe there is some gray in the world. But here's the thing. Tofu isn't food.
Yeah.
Or else I would like it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so yes, it's white, but no, it's not food.
Well, I mean, that's a quick case in point. I gave it to a guy who was starving and he goes, I won't eat it. So, maybe starving, need food, give him something, doesn't eat it. I don't think it's food.
Oh, there's a guy who waits outside the drive-thru of my Dunkin' Donuts. And I go through that Dunkin' Donuts almost every day on my way to work because, I like to get a bagel sandwich, maybe a long and some good coffee with lots of cream and sugar on my way in here. And there's a guy who's always at the drive-through. And so I come by every morning and I've maybe got like bacon has such a strong and powerful scent. So I'm munching on let's say this past week, the last thing I had at Dunkin' Donuts was I got one of those croissants that have bacon, egg, and cheese inside of it. So it's a very powerful, yummy smell.
Okay.
I roll down my window as I'm driving by, as I'm leaving the drive-thru of Dunkin' Donuts. And because I am a Christ follower, I think about these things ahead of time. I'm not taking credit for it myself. This is the Holy Spirit inside me who gives me little still small voices that say, hey, you know what? All of those expired Kind bars and all of those old cinnamon granola bars that are just crunched up at the bottom of your purse, that maybe you feel like tossing, keep those in the console or in the side, door pocket on the side of my Lexus, my door. I fill it up with all the food that I was going to throw away. And I give it to this guy or anyone who's begging at any of the red lights around town. But a lot of times it's this guy who I will give a granola bar to. And he seems to take issue with the fact that he can smell me eating bacon and egg and warm croissant. And he's getting a, dry, crushed up old cinnamon granola bar. What he has started to do is if I even have a crack in one of my windows in my Lexus, which a lot of times I do, because a lot of times I'm traveling with some of my Frenches and Corgis to work.
And usually after winter, everybody's got a crack in some window just because of the snow plows.
What this guy has started to do is he's throwing these like nature's best granola bars back in through the cracks of my window and as I drive by.
What?
And he does it every single time. So I've gotten wise to it because I've been hit in the side of the head twice with a expired Kind bar.
And that's hard. Those get hard.
Yeah. And then I heard him whizzing past my head coming in if I had one of the back windows open. He was throwing them in the back seat too. I was finding this crap that I was trying to discard long ago.
So what's your solution? Not keep your windows up?
Yes. So now I got wise. I'm going through. I've got both my windows up on the driver's side as I come through. And so he didn't fall for it though. I wanted him to start, I wanted to hear that kind bar that's as thick as a hockey puck. I was waiting for it to hit my window, maybe even break my window when he tried to get it back inside my car. Oh. And I was going to charge him for the window, but he got wise and he doesn't throw when he doesn't see a crack.
Right. I remember you the other week saying, you won't believe this, but the guy at the Dunkin' Donuts, he boomeranged one over the car and back and it came
through the passenger side back window.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He bent it like Beckham and I don't know how he did it. And maybe he might have ricocheted. It's a small, narrow opening. He could have ricocheted off the building on the other side. I'm coming through an alley. You know how you kind of like have to come out an alley behind the Dunkin' Donuts?
I've never been to Dunkin' Donuts.
You've never been to Dunkin' Donuts?
No.
Well, yeah. So now he's making baskets off the backboard, if you know what I mean now, because he's shooting them from the other side.
Yeah. In Australia, we have a different thing. It's not called Dunkin' Donuts, but it's essentially, and I don't really eat that because it's much too sweet, but instead of having a donut that you dunk in coffee, it's kind of a puck, almost like a puck of flavored coffee that you dump into a flavored syrupy mix that tastes a bit like, I guess, a liquefied donut.
Wow.
And it actually, you just drop it in there and it kind of diffuses. It's disgusting. Well, I'm sorry about that. Something that might help you is that this is why I just carry a bunch of pamphlets. And when someone asks for something like, hey, can I have a kind bar? I hand them the Bible because then I get to say, God loves those who help themselves. And I can tell they are so appreciative of that rather than giving them what you've been giving them, which is slightly expired, sugary, all-in-one meal replacement.
That's true. I can't give them cash, obviously.
Well, who carries cash anymore?
Exactly. And I can't explain to them how I'm paying for things with my iPhone now.
Oh, they don't even know what an iPhone is.
Yeah.
Although I've seen a lot of them with phones. Hallie, I did just want to, as we wrap up here, I did want to say it has been an awesome week because Steve is coming back in, I think, the next 3 to 5 weeks from Bermuda. He has been on sabbatical planning the fall session. And this is exciting time for us because Steve considers these times just some of the most potent, verdant, and interesting times where he gets to go to Bermuda and just talk to God. And did you see the picture that he sent, which was him out on these beautiful flats, the salt water everywhere. And it looked almost like it was a photo shoot, but I think it was just maybe one of his kids took it. But Steve is standing out in that shallow water and it looks almost like he's standing on the water. And I'm like, what a powerful reminder that, he, like Jesus, is out there walking around on the surface of some very big ideas.
Awesome. I can't wait for what he brings back from his summer break. The way God must be speaking to him by him getting away and getting some quiet, which pastors really need to do to just be able to hear the voice of God more clearly.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be around here. You're not going to be writing the best programming you've ever come up with because everybody is making demands on his time, his energy. A lot of times he'll say, look, you just can't talk to me right now because it will really, in his words, kill my vibe that I'm working in. And Steve is working in such a vibe with the Holy Spirit right now. I just feel like the programming this fall is going to be lit.
And I'm not saying he does walk on water, but I will say that Steve could, if need be, because guess what? There was one regular human man who did walk on water who wasn't
great
Jesus.
Point.
And he did that just by believing and just by, being within a few feet of Jesus where Jesus could actually pick him up out of the water as he started to sink and, repair his faith quickly and get him to walk. But Peter walked on friggin' water, church. So
sometimes I watch Japanese game shows on YouTube and they try to walk on water all the time. And I'm going, guess what, guys? Maybe believe in Jesus and some of you will win. But I don't really know what they're trying to win because the rules are really hard to follow.
And guess what? According to your t-shirt, Jesus already won.
You're right.
He already won.
All right, folks, that's the episode. Many thanks to our Supercast members for those great suggestions. Hey,
Speaking of Supercast, it's a great time to join. There's a free trial, and that is the best way to make sure that Mega keeps going.
If you'd like to listen ad-free, if you would like behind-the-scenes podcasts, and if you would like Discord access and much, much more, go to mega.supercast.com and become a supporter today. That's mega.supercast.com.
And really, it is the way we keep going, so please consider a Supercast membership.
And as always, I'm Holly Laurent playing Hallie Labont, and that over there, that's Greg Hess playing Gray Haas.
Of course, we want to thank our founding members. That is Bobby and Betty, Anonymous, Nana and T-Pop, and Adrian O. See you next time.